We begin tonight by keeping you up to speed on the tragedy at a South Minneapolis school, a tragedy that took at least one life from our community and hurt 9 others. Just after 10 this morning, a natural gas explosion followed by a fire at Minnehaha Academy's upper campus. The force took down the center of the building, turning it into rubble. When it happened, several summer school programs and sports practices were going on, but thankfully most of those people, most of them got out. Sadly, I wish I could say all of them. We know this came to be because of a natural gas leak, and we are working as hard as we can to learn more and get all of that confirmed for you as quickly as possible. Lou Gregus is one of our reporters on the scene doing that very thing tonight. Lou, we know the basics. What else are we learning tonight?
Well, we know that there was a company here doing work on a gas line. We don't have a lot of details about that except for that the blast originated, like they often do, in the utility room, where there's an ignition source that could cause, when there's gas that fills a room, an ignition source can cause the explosion. And when you look at the building, where that would be located is right by the chimney there. If you follow the chimney all the way down, that would be where the blast happened. The authorities are saying that the walls blew outward and that the roof and the floors kind of just fell straight down like a pancake. And that's the reason that they're hopeful that the one person still missing, there's a chance that they could be found alive, because that might have created a pocket in which he could survive without being crushed by the weight of the collapse itself.
Someone that we talked about on the phone when we were discussing your report tonight, something that we saw in our 5 and 6 o'clock newscast here at KARE 11. You're talking about that custodial worker, John, that 81-year-old man.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you've learned about him just in the last hour?
Well, he was very well known to students and graduates here. He was a 1953 graduate of Minnehaha Academy. In fact, he started Sunday school here as a toddler, so he was, you know, the biggest backer of the Minnehaha Academy. And he's known as the dilly bar guy. He would hand out dilly bars to kids around the school. One of the staffers said that he gave her a dilly bar when she was here to do her job interview. And I'm even going to read a tweet here that someone just sent me. It says, "He's the sweetest man in the world. He once saw me crying and gave me a dilly bar and told me that tomorrow is a new day. I hope he's found." He was also an active runner at 81 years old. He still ran 5Ks with the cross-country team. So he's just well known across the Minnehaha Academy community, and they're all praying for him and pulling for him tonight. Of course, the other victim who died is also, her name is Ruth Berg, and she's described as a sweet and caring woman. In her role, she didn't have as much contact with the students, but she was the one who would answer the phone if you would call Minnehaha Academy.
You know, you talked a little bit about John and about what was going on there, but it's summertime. We were a month out from when school was starting again. What would John have been doing, if you know at all? What was happening at that school today?
Well, I think he was getting things ready for school because he was excited about the school year. It was mostly staff here getting ready, in fact, for the school year to start on, I believe, August 23rd. There were only about a dozen students. And yeah, I mean, just that excitement that he would have in welcoming the students back.
You got to wonder, you know, tonight our hearts and prayers obviously go out with everyone from his family and from all the families affected by this, but to be remembered in some of the ways that you talked about, the dilly bar guy, the guy that always greeted everyone with a smile, he certainly left a legacy there at Minnehaha Academy. We're still waiting to hear confirmation
and it's
on his
heartbreaking.
well-being.
And before we go, Janet, we have to tell you that there is some stuff happening here. Part of the roof collapsed on the building, which is just to the north here of the part that's missing, just in the last 5 minutes before BTN started. And so we're keeping an eye on that because there's diggers there. They're kind of doing some demo work, and so I don't know how much is intentional and how much isn't, but there's been more structure collapse just in the last 10 minutes here, so we're keeping an eye on that as well.
All right, thanks for keeping us up to speed. We appreciate it, Lou. Well, Minnehaha Academy is a Christian K-12 private school of 900 students. It is a place where most everyone knows everyone else, and because of that, a loss of anyone is a loss for everyone. Lindsay Sievert has been meeting people all day in that community, people in shock, people heartbroken, everyday people who woke up today never expecting what the day would become. Lindsay, can you tell me about that community and what you have seen there today?
Oh, absolutely, Janet. The heartbreak is just so You feel it so deeply in your own soul, just watching the eyes of people. There's a woman standing next to me just staring at this scene, just wiping tears away. And before I tell you a little bit more about this wonderful community here, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about what Lou was mentioning about the demo work. It was just before the 6 o'clock newscast. I was prepping my report when I heard this loud crash. It was very startling. So I looked over my shoulder, and I'll have a photographer here, John Duvall, zoom in, and the roof did in fact collapse. And what I had heard from many people watching closer than I was is that the backhoe operator was just doing that demo work, methodically going through the wreckage and rubble. He was testing just a little bit of part of it, and someone said he was just kind of tapping his backhoe on a section, and the whole thing just collapsed with a big crash. You saw the smoke come up from all the debris. And if you look through the building that is still standing, you can see into the windows that it's absolutely wreckage inside the part of the building that is still standing. And that's what really struck me when I arrived on scene here. We were one of the first news crews here among just a small crowd when this first started this morning. And I'd asked some of the neighbors, I said, that's 2 buildings, right? And they said, oh no, that was one building just minutes ago. So just to stand here and try to wrap your head around the force of that explosion, to literally slice or crumble this historic building in 2, and then what it did to the neighborhood, it's just a force that neighbors described. One person told me it was like a sonic boom. Another neighbor here said she was sleeping. She was in a deep sleep, and she felt the sound in her chest. Some people just immediately ran outside and wanted to help. So that's where we found many of the stories of the helpers and the heroes in this community. To tell you, one of the first people I met was a nurse midwife, and she said she was reading the paper. She went to run outside, and there were kids on this field playing soccer, students here, high schoolers, and they were running to this fence right here screaming for help. So she ran over, being a nurse, thinking she could help. She ran around the fence, got close to the rubble, and that's when the first responders had arrived, and they said, no, stay back. And she said she was astounded. She was there to help, but these first responders said, no, it is our job to run into these flames. And she said that is exactly what they did. And she stood back just shaken and in awe about our heroes, our first responders. And she said in this time of uncertainty and a time of criticism for police, she saw this really wonderful side of what they do every day to save lives. So that was one story. And I'll bring up one other story. There's a Ramsey County deputy a few houses from here. He happens to be on vacation, guys. He was in his front yard weeding when this sound came. He said it was just a kaboom. He was the one that said it sounded like a sonic boom. And his training instincts kicked in. He just ran across, and he said that immediately he pulled somebody from a pile of concrete in this rubble, along with a few other people. He doesn't know who they are. Together, they pulled this man out of the wreckage. They said that he was breathing, he had a heartbeat, he wasn't doing well, but they were able to pull him out immediately. But people were screaming, there's a woman, there's a woman, there's a woman, and these flames were growing and leaping up, and they tried to get to this woman, and they just couldn't. And that's presumably Ruth, the longtime school secretary, and he was really taken aback and saddened by this woman that he couldn't save. So one life he saved, another life within grasp, but just couldn't get there.
Unimaginable. I know you've been there all day, and want to thank you for what you've done here for KARE 11 and for our community. You know, you mentioned something that reminded me of Mr. Rogers. You know, that quote from Mr. Rogers, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say, look for the helpers. You will always find people helping. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lindsay.
I think so. Yeah, thank you. Many examples of that today.
Very much so. Thank you so much. Well, we all need to take away an important lesson from today. Remember, at home, you can always smell a gas leak. It's described as smelling like rotten eggs. That's because a chemical is added to give off that distinctive scent for your safety. Because natural gas is completely odorless, colorless, and tasteless. It stinks as a warning for you to get out. Keep in mind, natural gas explosions are relatively rare in the United States. Last year, the government says there were just over 600 cases of these leaks, killing 17 people.